Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Besieged, published by Cool Mini or Not, designed by Gorka Mata, Victor Fernandez, and Sergi Soli. I am playing this game with rules 1.1. You can find them on the BGG website. There's a couple small tweaks that they put in for the game to make it a little bit more manageable. I will still be honest and say I have never won this game. Nope, never. But we are going to play not on the easiest mode. We'll play on the medium mode. And so, yeah, that way you guys can see how the game is played and see if it's something that you might want to pick up. Don't forget, I do have a giveaway for the painted set of this game. I will say to you, I do have the retail version of this, not the Kickstarter, but it will be painted retail and the expansion. And so we're going to do a playthrough of the expansion as well, just so you can see the differences. So this video is all going to be about how to set up the game. If you want to just jump into the playthrough, feel free to check out the video below this in the playlist. Otherwise, let's jump in. Let's first talk about how you win this game. So the players win the game as a team if the messenger, which is going to be this token here, manages to leave the board, return to the citadel before the end of round 12, and there's at least one hero alive, and at the end of the round, the messenger returns. That sounds not too difficult, but you'll see it's not going to be easy. We'll lose if the messenger has not returned to the citadel by end of round 12. If there's an assault unit or an avatar that reaches the citadel, the second messenger dies, because we will potentially have two messengers that we can send out. All heroes are dead at the same time, or there are 5 or more destroyed buildings in the citadel. Good old typical co-op game, tons of ways to lose, one way to win. Here we have the 3 difficulty settings, and I would say this is something that is a little bit different, a little bit tweaked in the 1.1 version rules. We have a footman, knight, and defender. So we're going to play the knight version. So when a disruption occurs, the avatar appears per the regular rules. Enemies do not pursue the messenger during the return stretch as explained in page 8. Also, we only use 1 through 5 level events. That's optional. Yeah, I'm definitely doing that because some of those higher level event cards are insane. And I just think they make the game harder for no good reason. The first thing you want to do is set up your board the way I have it here. So you're going to have the citadel right in the middle here. It's got all these different areas that we can go and visit, and I'm just going to explain those when we go to them during the playthrough itself. We have a north, south, east, and west, and in each one we have a board where the enemies are going to march forward and attack either our heroes or the citadel itself. There are 3 different zones on each board: Zone 3, Zone 2, and Zone 1. Zone 3 is where all enemies will spawn from. Then, depending on which type of enemy it is, at the end of a round, it'll move forward to Zone 2, or if it's one of these guys, it's going to attack our entire citadel on that side of the board. In order to hit over here, we're going to have to roll a 6+ on a D6. So it's hard to hit these guys just by rolling individual dice because they're so far away. In Zone 2, it's a 5+ to hit, and in Zone 1, it's a 4+ to hit. At the beginning of the game, you'll want to make sure your catapult is facing north. And you can see by this arrow the way it's facing. That's really important to know because you want to make sure that when you are ever using the catapult, it's facing the way you want to attack. If you need to attack on a different location, you're going to have to turn it for an action. Next, you'll want to set up your resource board. Now, your resource board will have the 4 main resources: the armory, the tavern, the market, and the sorcery. Depending upon the amount of players, you're going to seed the season resources based on the amount of players. I'm playing a 4-player game. That's the minimum that you can play, is 4 different characters. So I'm going to start with 4 season resources of each type. So 4 armory, 4 tavern, 4 market, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 sorcery. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever we go to certain locations to obtain these resources, we're going to grab them from here unless we're lucky enough to grab them from the main resources up here. And why I say lucky enough is because if these run out, if we go to a place to get more armory cards and this is empty, we can't get any. Tough luck. Our event deck here is only consisting of level 1 through level 5 cards, and you'll be able to see that down here at the bottom of the card. You probably can't see it. It's very, very tiny. But so we'll have a level 1s through level 5 event cards. We also have shuffled up our enemy cards here, and what we're going to do is we're going to seed the boards with enemy cards. Before we do that, I just also want to show you, you have compass cards, and you'll use those for certain cards or certain messenger actions that'll happen throughout the game. But there's no place on the board for that, so you'll just place that to the side of the board. As you level up in this game, you're going to be grabbing these little cardboard chit tokens, and they're going to tell you what your additional abilities are going to be. And if you don't like what's on the opposite side of these cards, you can always use them for +1 additional power, which means you attack just a little bit harder. And you'll see how that works in the playthrough. But so depending on what level you're at, you're going to grab from one of the 4 respective piles. On the 4 boards that are facing the Citadel, we have places for spawn cards, 1 for each type, A, B, and C. So what we do is we take our deck, and we're going to deal 1 out. So we'll have Molens as A's, and this is the north board, just so you guys know. We've got Crones for B, and we have Gargons for C. Wow, 1 of each type. Then, depending upon which season we're at, when we roll for spawning, if we roll an A and we're in spring, we would spawn 1 Molen. But if we were in winter, let's say, and we rolled an A, we'd spawn 2 Molen. So the cards are all going to determine what's going to spawn each round, with the die roll determining which card we look at. And then after the end of each season, we'll get new cards out on the board. On the west side, we're going to have Gargons for A, we're going to have Crones for B, and we're going to have Molens for C. Wow, this is nicely evenly distributed. For the south, that's way on the other side of the table. We're going to have the cards upside down, so that's face up for us. We've got Molens for A, we've got Crones for B, and we have Crones for C. So it's very likely here on the south we're going to get Crones. And last but not least, on the east side, we have Crones and Gargons and more Crones, so lots of Crones. As you can see, there's only 3 types of enemies in this game. We've got Crones, Gargons, and Molen. The Crones and Gargons each have standard and elite enemies. The Molen are just all regular enemies. Next, we have our season board. Now, there are going to be 3 rounds in each season: spring, summer, fall, winter. If by round 12, remember that messenger does not get back into the Citadel, we lose the game. Because the whole story of this game is we're being attacked, we need help, we're trying to send that messenger out for help. So if the messenger is able to get a hold of someone and bring them back, then we win the game. But if not, yeah, we get overrun. We'll place that time tracker token on the first round space. Now we'll pick our 4 heroes. So our first one here is Kador, the sorcerer. So all heroes will have the following. They'll have 3 destiny tokens, which is different from the regular game. In the regular game, you would not start with these destiny tokens. You can spend them to give you a plus or a minus on a die roll. +1 or -1. That's why it says +1 or -1. But you only have 3 of them. But in the regular game, without the additional rules, you would start with none of these. Okay. You also will start with 1 coin, 3 bread, and 5 morale. Morale counts as both your health and morale, right? So if your morale goes down to 0, you are dead, and they have to take actions. Other heroes would have to take actions to bring you back. This shows the power of your attacks. So this guy's power for his attacks is at a 1. That means he can only defeat enemies with health of 1 or less. Up here is his special ability. It says Archmastery. He gets +1 sorcery card at the sorcery tower. So if he goes to the sorcery tower, he can grab 2 cards instead of 1. He can hold up to 3 cards, and it shows the type that he can hold and the color. So he can hold 1 armory card or 1 potion here that either is yellow or blue or a combination of those. He can hold one that's either an armory, a market, or a sorcery card here. Has to be yellow, and here you can hold a sorcery or a market card. It can be red or orange. I think I've been saying yellow, but that's orange. His miniature looks like this. He'll have the green base. He's holding his awesome staff. Charles Carper, once again, was the painter of these, and look at this. Just looks amazing. And yes, this could be yours, so make sure to check out. I'll put in the description below. I'll put the giveaway information. Enter it, because you might win it, and you could get a painted set of this game. Here is my favorite hero, Cosmagor, the Renegade Orc. His power is 3, so he can take out a Mullen all by himself, which is awesome. And that makes perfect sense because his ability is Perfect Aim, Storm of Steel. What that means is Perfect Aim, normally it's a 6+ to be able to hit Zone 3. It's a 4+ for him. And not only that, a Storm of Steel, he gets to roll an extra red die if he attacks the third Zone 3. So he'll roll 2 red dice and hits at a 4+ instead of a 6+. And his power is 3 instead of only 1. Awesome. Everything else is the same. Yeah, he can hold different things, you can see here. And the other thing is I am having him be a first player, so he'll start out when we start the game. I almost forgot, look at his mini. And Charles painted him purple. He looks so flippin' sweet. Here we have Marinia, the Smuggler. Now, her ability is Web of Contracts, and once per round at the beginning of the round, she can roll a red die as if she was in the Smuggler's hideout. So every round she'll get to do the Smuggler hideout ability for free without taking an action. Her power is 1. You can see what she can hold. She's a lot about the armory. She can hold 2 armories. She can hold 2 sorcery cards even, which is pretty cool as well. I should mention everyone has a different bread amount that they need for leveling up. So for her, she needs to spend 2 bread to level up to level 1, because right now they're technically at level 0. And then to get to level 2, spend 3 bread, 4 bread, and then 5 bread all the way for level 4. And here is her mini. Yeah, she looks sweet. Love it. Lastly, we have Lou, the Blacksmith. His power is only level 1, which is insane to me. Look at this thing. He can't be just at a level 1, but I guess he is. His ability is any armory card that costs coins, he doesn't have to pay it. And if he ever does a massive attack, which is one of the armory cards that you can get, he gets to roll 1 additional die. His bread 2, 3, 4, 5 is pretty normal for leveling up. And then here is his sweet looking mini. Whoops. He just did a little dance. Yeah, I mean, look at that. So cool. I've set our 4 heroes out on the walls, and that's fine because most of this game is all about where you end your turn. If ever you end your turn in a building, that building is not accessible to anybody else. So a lot of times you're going to be trying to figure out, well, where should I end so that I don't get in the way of other people, blah, blah, blah. It's one of the fun or puzzly parts of this game. But you can have as many people as you want out on the wall, so we'll all start out on the wall, not in the way for anybody. That, my friends, is the setup for Besieged. We'll get started in the next video with spawning enemies, determining where we want our messenger to start running and escaping the Citadel to go find some help, and all of that jazz. Hope you guys are excited. This is going to be epic. We're probably going to lose, but we're going to have tons of fun doing it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the playthrough.